Yes, I. Greetings, love, and light to all the conscious ones out there. My name is Hassan Robinson, and welcome to another episode of Streams of Consciousness, where we tend to elevate the level of consciousness one conversation at a time. Of course, this episode here is no different. And today we'll be speaking with a lovely Dominican queen, a Dominican empress, who I will allow the opportunity to introduce herself. Till then, welcome to Streams of Consciousness.
Hello. So it's very nice to be here with you this afternoon.
Likewise.
My name is Becky John Baptist. That's my government name. But however, my writing name is Rebecca Lynn. So when I'm writing, I have a whole different persona from Becky. That's the duality.
Okay. So what got you into writing and that type of thing?
I've been writing since I was a child. I think first of all, reading. My parents would always read bedtime stories to me, and also they would always buy me books, and they themselves read a lot. So reading was like normal in my household. So I first got into reading, and then my mother was at UWI, I think, when I was about 8, and she had to write a dissertation or something of the sort, some research paper,
Right.
and actually do a book about her hypothesis and her findings.
Okay.
And children copy their parents.
Right.
So I basically got into writing that way because I wanted to be like my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. And the rain is coming down.
So safest place the guys you go?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So consciousness. When you hear the word consciousness, what does consciousness mean to you?
It means to me being in tune with who you are, like from the inside. All of us have a voice on the inside that speaks to us. So it's being in tune with it, listening to it. But I think it spreads further in that it also is about how we fit with others. Because to be truly conscious, you have to respect everybody else, and you need to understand other people's the motivation for why they do things that they do. So I think that is consciousness. First from the inside, where you know who you are, you're proud of who you are. If there are things that you need to change, you attempt to change it. But also you respect other people. You see them as a human. You respect their need to survive, their need to thrive, and also respect of all life forms, not only humans but cats, dogs, pigs. Yes, that's base consciousness.
Indeed. So do you find a lot of conscious individuals in your field of work, or do you feel like there could be some more conscious, healthcare professionals or that type of thing?
It's hard to say if there are, because again, when we're at work, we're so focused on getting a patient well or finding out what is wrong with a patient that it's hard to really delve into their inner perspective.
Right.
But I do know a few, yes.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's talk a bit more into cultural consciousness. Some of your works, they preserve our cultural folklore, and like you stated, you have a whole different writing alias. I guess it's for you have your reasons why. Talk to us a bit more about the importance of preserving our cultural folklore, and also doing what you do. Bringing that twist of modern intellect and modern know-how to the rich heritage of just literature on a whole.
Okay, so our folklore, you would hear Apapa, Mamagu, Lajables, the Lugaru, Sukuya. I think they can fall into 2 categories. A lot of them are cautionary tales, which still hold true today because regardless of the century, regardless of the technology or the development, human nature remains the same. And so those tales of caution are still relevant today, which is the reason they should be preserved.
Right.
Because especially for children who have not yet they're not adults yet, so they are still developing, and they're full of imagination. The stories are a good way of teaching them to be cautious about certain things without being like a dictator or regimental to them. So you tell them a story and they learn from that story, okay, we should take care of the environment, we shouldn't just believe everything we see, right, without actually holding a rod and spanking or being so aggressive with them. And then there's a set, I believe, that really is steeped in misogyny. I don't want to say like the super,
Yeah.
I think there's misogyny, and of course I'm totally against misogyny.
Right.
It doesn't benefit anybody.
Right.
But however, we can still learn from it in that we can see that it is not good to just say things about people without proof.
Right.
So you can see how you can destroy somebody, destroy their whole legacy, destroy generations of their family.
Yeah.
Because of something you may have said about them. I mean, there are women who died because they were accused of being witches. Men too. So I think, again, cautionarity and misogyny and other kind of prejudices in our society. It speaks to that and can teach us the bad effects, the sequelae of those prejudices, as well as teach our children how to preserve the environment and how to be careful.
So tell us a bit now about your latest works and how proud you are of some of the works that you've done. And is it something that you did on your own, or do you have like a collaborator with you?
Okay, so I wrote it on my own. So I have one published novel so far. That's The Haunting at Mountain Lodge,
Okay.
which was published March of last year.
Okay.
And I'm going to make it into a trilogy. So the second installment, Sweet Deceit, should hopefully be published later this year.
Any feedback from persons who've read it or?
Oh yeah, people, so far a lot of people have told me they love it a lot.
Okay.
So on Amazon it has 4 point something stars out of 5. Yes, so it's available on Amazon as well as in the public library. Okay, so The Haunting at Mountain Lodge, the themes are really environmental conservation, family, a family that is well bonded as opposed to a family where the chains are broken. Those are the major themes, and friendship, sisterhood. So those are universal themes, and I think it is because we're at a position now where we're developing our country, Dominica. We have to find a way. While development is very important, we need proper infrastructure for us to have better trade and more money coming in, more circulation of money, more visitors and so forth. But along that, it doesn't have to be one or the other. We can develop while still preserving the environment and still respecting the environment for the future. So my story features Papa Boy and Mama Blue. Papa Boy is father of the forest, and Mama Blue is mother of the waters.
Right.
So in my story, which is fictional, they are alive and well,
Right.
and eternal, and they protect the forest from people who will destroy it.
Wow.
So I have 3 main characters, Ella and Imani, who are of Dominican parentage, who returned to Dominica to run a mountain lodge. So the mountain lodge is on a plateau. Now, for the setting, I imagine 2 places, Warner and Loda, and the freshwater lake. So this area is where the mountain lodge is. It's called Mountain Ridge, and it's on a plateau. And on that plateau, you also have the Mingo family,
Okay.
who are descendants of a maroon chief and his wife, Mabuya and Kana. So they come to set up the lodge, and of course, as all good stories should be, there has to be conflict. So they both have trauma from their past,
Right.
and as the story goes along, I uncover what those traumas are, and those traumas, of course, are going to guide
Wow.
their decisions. So they hire Selene Mingo, one of the Mingos, to be basically their housekeeper and assistant. She also, though, works along with Papa Boa. So she basically carries stories for him so he
Right.
can know if people are actually
Worthy, yeah.
respecting the environment or not.
Okay.
Okay? So Papa Boy is only going to, and Mama will only bother people who destroy the environment.
Okay.
Right? So Imani it gets an opportunity to increase their income,
Okay.
but that comes at the risk of the environment.
Wow.
And Ella is against it, but Imani pushes forward. So now, of
Lots
course,
of-
Papa Boy and Mama Go are observing
Wow.
and they can strike. But again, that's where friendship comes in because Ella is saying that her friend is going on the wrong path,
Wow.
and as a good friend, she will try to.
Yo, that's amazing. That's very creative. The story, everything. I'm picturing that in my mind. I'm telling you,
You need to read it.
Yes, I do.
So then the other part of the story, of course, is the maroon history of Dominica. So the Mingos are descendants of Mabuya and Ghana.
Okay.
So I also delve into the maroon history, which is a story of resilience. Because what I'm so proud about Dominica for, and it's not praised enough, I guess because of colonization,
Right.
is how in the 1600s, 1700s, we had all these maroons were able to defy the colonizers. They were able to restrict
Yeah.
their development, restrict their rape on the country, so to speak. And there was a time when they actually occupied the area of land, an area of land the size of Barbados.
Wow.
So that's amazing. And I don't think we teach that to children enough because that is a way of showing them that the ancestors were strong people and that they can overcome challenges. So back then the challenge was slavery,
Yeah.
but now there are different challenges
Yeah.
that they need to overcome.
Amen. And that's yeah, man, powerful message. So speaking about challenges, what are some of the challenges you faced? I guess in not just writing the book, but as a female doctor, right now it's a common thing to find female doctors. But as a young, Dominican empress, and we'll talk a bit more about why you call yourself empress and how that happened, the doctor empress and thing. Were there any challenges that try to steer you off the course that you're on, or is it something you were like one of the anomalies where everyone else was encouraging you and trying to push for you to keep on that path?
The path of becoming a doctor?
Yeah, doctor, healer, just overall.
Yes, my family is very supportive. My parents, my cousins, my aunts, uncles, everybody. I am an only child, so I have no siblings. All of my family have always been supportive.
Okay.
I stand here because of all of them. They help in different ways. Some would sometimes stay up with me, help me with physics homework or maths homework or whatever homework. Cook so that I don't have to cook. Sometimes clean so I don't have to clean so I can be at the hospital.
Right.
Because I know when I come home, my house is clean or my bed is made or whatever.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
I've always had great support.
Okay, so how important is that though, having that support system? Not just like you say, in that particular case, for you to develop into the person that you are, but how important is it for us to support each other, like other artists support artists, other writers support writers, other women support other women, and that type of thing? How important is that in terms of how we move forward?
It's very important because you're always stronger as a community. That is scientific,
Yeah.
You're stronger in a group. So that's very important. And when we support each other, when one person achieves or grows, it helps the rest of us to achieve and grow.
Right.
So I don't believe in selfishness and backbiting and those things.
Right.
We should all help each other. All of us have a purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, and as much people who can succeed is better for the community and as well as for the country on a whole and the world by extension.
All right. Awesome. All right. So I'm loving your crown, by the way. Talk to us a bit about your love journey. Some people don't, some people do. Is it something where it was like a conscious effort to what, the outside has to reflect the inside because I'm a queen, that type of thing? Right now, natural hair and it's like a thing, no, but before it wasn't the case. So talk to us a bit
Right.
more about that journey of yours.
So I started my locks. I don't want to tell you stories. Was it 2022? No, 2021. In 2021, I was still living in St. Lucia at the time,
Okay.
and I had been wearing my hair relaxed for years. Then I had gone natural. Then I went back to the relaxer. But I wanted to be natural because, again, like I just didn't feel true to myself.
Right.
But almost like I was destroying my hair,
Wow.
almost like breaking the bonds of my hair. Like our hair shows again resistance,
Right.
and I was like, when you put the comb in,
Yeah. Yeah.
you break it, you make it weak,
Right.
and it always also was as if I'm saying, but my hair isn't good enough
Yeah.
for public consumption, which
Yes.
means that I'm not good enough. So I said, let me change that, and I have no regrets.
Indeed. You look glorious, by the way.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, man. And as you know, I was recently watching that documentary, the whole Dread Act documentary, in terms of what persons had to go through just for being naturalists, really, as letting the hair grow natural and eating organic foods as well. Is that something that you're big on in terms of the health aspect, in terms of the food you consume? And I know you can't judge people the books by its cover, so I'm not going to judge anyone if they have or don't have any locks. But do you endorse the idea of once you look a certain way, you represent a certain way, you're supposed to at least have some level of vibration?
Okay, so I do eat vegan sometimes, but I'll be honest, I eat meat as well.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I eat meat, I eat cheese, I eat vegan at times. Yes.
Okay.
And of course, if I'm at work and it's a busy day, and
Yeah.
all I can get is fast food, I will
Yeah,
partake
man.
of it.
Yeah, but the most important thing is embracing who you are and embracing your naturality.
Yes.
I think that's what it's about, man. Embracing who you are, So right now we are at the Bamboo House. Well, it has its history, its reputation of being one of Dominica's more unique places. We have one of Dominica's more unique women, Empress. To tell us how the name Empress came about, because I got to know you as Empress.
Well, I don't call myself Empress, but people call me Empress.
Okay.
Yes. So a lot of the Rastafarian men will call me Empress, but I don't call myself Empress.
Oh, bye bye. Okay, well, niceness.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything you would like people to know in terms of where we are right now and what area of society you feel could warrant more consciousness or that type of thing?
I think in Dominica we are divided in that if we only want to listen to people that share our same beliefs, and I think that should change for us to get better, because you can listen to other views and sometimes sometimes you might not even like somebody, but they might actually say something that makes sense or something that has
Right.
credit to it. So I think that we should be more united that way. Allow people to speak their minds as long as they're not being rude to you. Speak
Right.
their minds and respect them. You might not agree,
Right.
but respect them and allow more people to give their ideas and views and their assistance to the development of the communities and the country.
Okay. Now, yeah, I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask you some medical, some questions and stuff. We've been hearing a lot of concerns from medical professionals as it relates to we as men and our health and how can NCDs high. Talk to us a bit more if you have any messages or if you have a message to young guys out there, also young women as well, because not just us. We're hearing higher rates of cancers, breast cancer in women, blood pressure and stuff in young men. So any advice or any word?
When it comes to breast cancer, the best thing is early detection. So if you're over 40, you're supposed to be getting mammograms, and below 40 or over 40, you should be doing your self-breast examination once a month. If you do feel a lump, I know it is an extremely scary situation, but you must go to see a doctor.
Right.
Because when it's caught early, there is a very good chance of survival. I have friends and family who've had breast cancer, and 10 years into their survival.
Wow.
I have had a friend who lived 20 years after diagnosis.
Wow.
So the best thing is to detect it early. And I know it's scary, but if you need to go to the doctor with a good friend, with your mother, with your sister, whoever, to make you feel more secure, then do that. In terms of young men and women, and not only young and just men and women in general in Dominica, and chronic diseases like diabetes and hypertension, you first have to accept it. It's like there are a lot of people we would get high blood pressure readings for on more than one occasion, and they would not accept that they have hypertension. So they would say things like, "Oh, I was tired today," or, "Oh, I didn't eat on time," or, "Oh, I walked around town."
Yeah, denial, man.
You first have to accept it. It's only when you accept something you can fight it. Just like our soldiers do reconnaissance missions before they strike, you have to know so you can treat. And of course, treatment starts with lifestyle changes.
Right.
So, of course, low salt diets, if it's diabetes, low carbohydrate, exercise, and sometimes, a lot of times, you have to be on medication. And I know it can be daunting to take a tablet every day, but some people, I think, believe that not taking it means they don't have the disease. You still have the disease even if you don't take the medication. What you're now doing is making it uncontrolled, and you can end up with kidney failure, heart attack, heart failure, strokes, and so forth. And you don't want that. You want to see your children grow up, you want to enjoy your life.
Yeah, man.
So please, and of course, some people have issues with some of the high blood pressure medication. So instead of just not taking it, just talk to your doctor and say, "Well, I heard this does that, or that makes me feel that way," and you all can together make a plan, maybe get a different medication for you. So we're here to assist you. It's a team effort.
Yeah.
But first you have to accept it. It doesn't make you less of a person. Okay?
Indeed. All right. So usually hear a lot of negative when it comes to, medical personnel, and some of them have a very difficult time at home, and then they come to work and they basically caring. In their defense, do you have anything to say in the defense of those working those long hour shifts, caring for persons who are not well? What do you have to say for persons to get a better understanding from you guys' perspective?
Okay, well, in terms of our perspective, we do work a lot of long hours, and we're human beings. Some people seem to elevate us to a different level. We're human like everybody else, so we get tired, we get sick, and we're more exposed now to the same diseases because of those long hours at work. More at risk of diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, heart disease, heart attacks. Okay, so sometimes people so it doesn't excuse if a doctor is rude to somebody, there is no excuse for that. But people should understand that we are human, and we cannot, if we're tired, we may not be able to respond to you the same way. However, even if we're tired, we should make sure that you're safe. So there's a difference if me being tired and I'm not giving you your medication, as opposed to me being tired and therefore I cannot sit down on your bed and talk to you for half an hour. You understand?
Right.
So I will still ensure that you're safe. You get your medication, but I may not be able to spend half an hour talking to you because I'm tired. So in that way, but there's never an excuse for not taking care of the patients.
Indeed. And there's never an excuse of not taking care of yourself.
Right.
Indeed. Of course, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Is there any forwarding statements you'd like persons to know? And when they think of you or think of your books, what is it that you want them to take away?
That I love Dominica very much. So I always write and try to capture the essence of Dominica. And we have a very rich history. And we can learn a lot from those who came before us and those who are here now. Even from the children, we can learn a lot. So I just want us to be unified in that way. And again, our folklore and the Maroons, people need to learn about the Maroons, because I think for our children, it really is a way to give them pride that we didn't just fall to the colonizers, that we fought. And we can continue to fight for our land, for our family. Okay? I think that's what's the takeaway. Okay, so The second book in my trilogy, which is called Caribbean Mystics, is Sweet Deceit, which is now in the proofreading stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure most of us have heard of the legend of Laja Bless, which is this beautiful lady who seduces men and then reveals herself to them, and she actually has one cow. So that to me is a cautionary tale. It's warning people about you do not always believe what you see on the surface. You need to delve, right? In all things you do, you need to. Same thing in social media. You can't just see something on Facebook and believe it. You need to research. What you see on the surface is never what the true story is. So again, the theme is again looking deeper, having substance, but being so superficial. And also, I gave her a backstory because we just know of this lady who's beautiful, who tries to seduce men and kill them. We do not know why. What is her motivation? So I've given her a backstory as to why she has become this demon, and that backstory goes into misogyny and slavery. So look out for it. Sweet Deceits.
Sweet deceit. All right. Niceness. Okay, and there you have it. Of course, it's been another wonderful episode of Streams of Consciousness here. I've been with Empress, Empress Becky, that's what I know her as, but you know what I mean, a mystic, conscious, holistic healer, humble, down to earth, and an amazing Dominican queen. So tell a friend to tell a friend that consciousness is on your airwaves, and like, share, subscribe, and make sure to purchase your books, and just be the amazing person and individual that you are.